Hello, this will be a video overview of week one's major task. Now, as always, I encourage you before you begin your task this week, go down to week one and print out your online weekly checklist. Now, as I mentioned in the previous videos, one of the major things you need to do is, of course, learn about Canvas. Okay, you can again go to the student resources module and class that's on your dashboard page, or you can just look at those resources I have available to you. Again, the ones that I have on our page are right here below week one, and they tell you some important information. Just for example, you are going to be submitting an online discussion this week as well as uploading a document. You need to find out how to do that, and these navigational tools will show you how to do so. Obviously, on the checklist, there's some major tasks that you need to complete. The first one, of course, is your online discussion, which is listed right here. This assignment is going to be due later this week. In order to complete this assignment, just make sure, scroll down to the module which is titled Online Discussion, and you're going to see that there are several handouts that you need to look at before you actually submit your online discussion. Absolutely do not submit your online discussion without looking at these handouts, because they go over netiquette, which is essentially online etiquette in an online environment, whether that online environment is an online course, it's electronic communication with your college instructors, or potentially one day with your professional colleagues. So make sure to look at this information before you submit your assignments this week. So the most important one is this netiquette online discussion handout. It overviews just the major things that you need to do in an online discussion, not just necessarily for our classes online discussion, but for any classes online discussion, This particular website just gives you some basic tips, and there's also, if you're more a visual person, this is a video. I did not make this video, but it's very helpful on just how to kind of make interesting online discussion posts. Now, one thing that I put in that letter A handout is it gives you an example of an online discussion post, and then it gives you an effective example versus an ineffective example. So I want you to kind of see what my expectations are. Now, you're going to notice for our first online discussion, you're not going to be doing a scholarly online discussion. This one's actually going to be one that is more of a get to know you scenario. You're going to upload a photo that, of course, kind of represents who you are. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a photo with you in the photograph. It can be, an object that represents who you are, and you're going to give us a glimpse into who you are as an individual, and maybe your interests, your hobbies, your profession. Now, to actually do the assignment, you're going to click on online discussion, or again, it may be at the top, there may be a to-do under the right-hand side, a to-do link to the online discussion, but if not, click here, letter D. And I basically give the instructions of the assignment here, so read through those first. And then right here, you're going to click reply. Now, you are going to have to upload a photo. There's two ways that you can do that. One way is you can click attach right here. Choose file, and I'm just going to go to my desktop. And if you have a photograph that's saved to your desktop, like I have Yoda here, you can click right here and then click open. That's one way to upload a photo. Another way to upload a photo is to go right here to the top where it has this little landscape. It looks like a little mountainous terrain with maybe a sun or a moon, and it says images, and you can click on upload image, and you can just click on a photo that's in your library, click it, and then do open. And it's going to actually upload that into your discussion. Now, as far as your actual discussion post, you're going to type it in this particular posting. You can change the font right here. You can make it 12, 14. You also, if you want to underline or bold anything or change your colors, just make sure you're formal as possible. And then when you're finished, you're going to click post reply. Now, you can go back and edit your response pretty much up until the due date of the online discussion. So just know if you see that you have a spelling error or that you have some major, just content issues, you can go back and edit it and then just repost it. Okay, just make sure this is your first assignment, so complete this and definitely tell us information so we can get to know who you are as a person. Okay, again, try to be, PG-13 rated in your, language that you use. And as far as your photographs, make sure that those are appropriate. And I mentioned kind of things that are appropriate versus inappropriate, obviously, at the top. But again, give us a glimpse in who you are. Okay, and I'm going to go back. I'm just going to cancel because I'm not posting. And you're going to notice you have another assignment that you're going to be doing. You're going to be emailing an instructor, okay? This instructor can be me if you want to email an introduction. However, you may be taking other classes this semester, so you can email another college instructor here at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. You can also forward this email to me after you send it to that individual, or you can, if you want to CC me, you can do that as well. Now, just as I mentioned with the online discussion, I do have some resources that I want you to look at before you actually submit the assignment. Let me scroll down. And you're going to notice there is a module, email to the instructor. Again, make sure, always look, if I have handouts, make sure you look at those because they're not just handouts. They overview the assignment, okay, always. With all of our assignments this semester, there are instructions as well, and also potentially examples. So you're going to look under Module 7 and look at Netiquette email handout, okay. Also, there's other resources here you can use. Some of these I did not make. Email writing that works, sending an email to faculty. This is from a university learning lab. Some guidelines for writing professional emails. If you're more visual, again, I have these two videos, D and E. Also, Al Purdue has a wonderful website on just email etiquette you can view, and they have a slideshow also. So you may want to check out all of these resources, but absolutely look at my handout before you send the email. Now, if you send the email to me, you're going to notice you're not going to submit anything in the Dropbox, and I mentioned this here. You are going to be actually physically sending an email, okay, through your college email. You can send it again through your MGCC Bulldogs email account preferably, and this is my email address here. I'd rather you not send it through Canvas. I want you to actually send it from your college email to my college email or to your, other instructor's college email. And as I mentioned, if you send a message to another instructor, just make sure you either CC me, okay, where I can view it, or you forward this to me after you send it, okay? And I kind of give you guidelines right here, so just make sure to read through those instructions. And this particular email to the instructor, think of it as just like an introduction, anything you may want to tell me about, your degree program, or maybe one that you're considering, if you work, where do you currently work? I mean, as far as personal life, it's up to you if you want to share anything as far as, if you have a partner, if you have children, if you have any different interests, okay, or hobbies, you can share those things. Maybe what you plan on doing with your future degree, what your dreams are. I mean, this is an introduction. Also, if you have any questions about assignments this week or just the class as a whole, you can use this assignment to do that. I don't want this to be an empty assignment just for a grade. I want it to have a purpose. But again, just make sure you send this email. But also make sure you read over all the content and information and resources I have for you, before you send it. All right, now the last assignment, okay, you're going to be doing an email to a manager or a supervisor. Now this is a hypothetical scenario. You're actually not going to send an email, to a supervisor or a manager. If you have a current job, you're not going to be doing that, okay? This is a hypothetical fictional scenario. As I mentioned, make sure, you look at the handout on this particular assignment. Again, if you go down to Module 8, there's a handout right here that overviews the assignment, and I give you different scenarios that you could imagine if you find yourself in a predicament at work in a professional setting, and you would maybe have to imagine you sending a message to your supervisor or manager. I want to ensure that you understand how to send a professional email even in a very stressful kind of environment when maybe something's gone wrong in your work environment. Obviously, read through the handout before you send the message, okay, which you're not really sending a message, okay? You're actually going to be submitting either a Microsoft Word or Microsoft 360 or Google Docs document. And in order to do the assignment, because you're not going to be emailing it, you're just going to be kind of having a fictional email. You're going to go here to letter F, email to the manager or supervisor. Also, this may be under the to-do. You're going to click on it. Okay, it says submit assignment. Okay, you can do choose file if you're doing Microsoft Word. Okay, you can just pick your file and click here and then click open, and that's going to download your file. Again, you're not actually emailing a manager or supervisor. You are going to be ultimately composing a fictitious message that you could see yourself sending to a supervisor or manager in this particular incident, and you're going to compose it. Think of this as like a rough draft you would compose in a Microsoft Word or Google Docs scenario. There are other instructions in Microsoft, 365 and Google Drive that show you how to do that. If you want to double check and make sure that I do get the assignment, you can also share your Google Docs version of your email to the manager and supervisor to my Gmail account. Remember, that is ashleydSummerall@gmail.com. So either scenario, but just definitely make sure you submit it to Canvas, and you're going to click submit. Okay. So hopefully this will help you in submitting your major assignments this week. So just remember, you have really 4 tasks this week. Number 1, get to know Canvas and its navigation. Number 2, okay, submit your online discussion. Number 3, you're going to send an email to an instructor, either me or someone else on Canvas. And number 4, you're going to compose an email to a supervisor or to a manager. As always, if you have any questions about week 1's assignments, I want you to contact me and I'll be happy to answer those. Y'all have a wonderful first week of class, and I look forward to reading your work. Thanks.